Conversations with the Pumzela, the girl next door. It is that time where I have a guest, somebody special. I know I say this all the time, but the list of my guests is all the girl next doors and the boys next door of my heart. Until I finish all of them, you will hear this word, favorite people. So, Kinali Puseletso. I'm not gonna do bio, ne, Puse, because with bio sometimes they get so limiting, and with you is also very different because I know you well. And the big part of it, you are my coach. So if I'm going to introduce you and go through your bio, it will be me selling because I will not stop. I will not stop. But thank you so much for joining me for Conversations.
Hey, neighbor.
Yes! My girl next door, my heart.
I'm so excited I finally made it, hey?
Yes.
This is long overdue.
It's been long. Most of our things have always been long overdue.
Yeah.
We started with getting to know each other.
Yeah.
From far, we're like, hi, and we knew we liked each other. Very much, we knew, but we took our time until we're like, hi, man, let's just do things together.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your being. How I then start the conversation so that people get to know who you are from you, because I think when you talk about yourself, it's even better than somebody reading your bio, because we treat those things as strictly business or it's strictly what we do. But I want people to know Puseletso. As a young girl with dreams and passion, what's a guy or man? Yes.
Listen, this woman here is a very rural born girl, loving nature, loving anything what God has provided for us. Wow. Taking a walk in the field just to center herself, milking in the cows.
Oh, wow.
Riding on horses. Yeah, that's the life for me that gives me like a bit of therapeutic way of healing. It's more part of healing, I guess. Yeah. And I think that's where everything was born, because my life has always been around plowing the fields, milking the cows, chasing the chickens, trying to gather some eggs. My home, it's in the rural, in Lesotho. That's where my father originated. I'm South African born. I was born in the Free State in a small town called Dlamini, which is not far from Welkom if you want to locate it. But my dad was in Lesotho, he's born in Lesotho, then he came to work in the mines and then met my mom and then forever stayed this side. So when I was born, I was taken back home in Lesotho. That's where my identity and everything is based, because I always say I am Lesotho, proudly so, because that's where my grandparents are. But beyond that, I think I'm a very grounded person in a sense that, grandparents, I know how to make motoho, I know how to nepola, Basotho will understand what is to nepola. I know how to khiba. So those are the things that I really was surrounded by. And I'm a loving person, because I realized that because of my culture or my home, my family has always been about community development. My great-grandfather, who is French, from France, came to Lesotho to start churches. And then my grandfather then started a farm where we had cows, we had to supply all different sorts of things to the villagers, and people would come to our home to buy things. So we've been always entrepreneurial and also supporting, because also church has always been the center of everything. And I could say maybe I'm a PK in that sense, because I grew up where churches were formed because of my great-grandfather. So community development, supporting other people, empowering people has always been part of my life, and it was modeled for me from my grandparents, from my parents themselves. I remember every Christmas and in where my parents were staying, which is in Allenrich, which is not far from Welkom. We hosted functions all the time. People, whenever there's a monad, they knew it would be at our house. So the love of seeing people happy originated from that, because to me, you are not your own. Your life is not yours. You are here to serve. So I'm a servant. I'm a servant leader. I am a person who wants to create, to change, who wants to change lives, who wants to help people through their transformational journey. I'm aware of my own self in terms of my own journey, my own development, my own shortcomings. So as I help others, it's like I'm taking a mirror. At times God connect you with people who are of the similar path, then you can see yourself through them as you're helping them. Yeah, you understand? So I am that person who's woke in a sense that I really invest in growth, in development, and into connecting with the higher power, which my higher power is God. I'm a Christian at heart, and everything I do is based on the Christian principles and beliefs. I might not be religious.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I might not be religious, but I'm really for God. So I am a mother of 2 kids. God blessed me with 2 beautiful girls, 20 years and an 18-year-old. And I think through being a mom, I got to see that extending that love where you have people who can love you unconditionally, who actually even sometimes you look at them, you see yourself, and the good and the bad.
I can relate.
The good and the bad, and then you say, wow, this is a miracle. This is a miracle. I think I'm a lover of life. So everything, family, people, work, but also work, guys. You know, when in Chinese they call it ikigai, where you found your purpose, where you connect, everything meets together in the middle, and then you find your center. I feel like I'm at the point where I'm in my ikigai moment, where everything connects, becomes one, whether it's family, in all spheres of my life. The center is clear for me to say, why am I existing here on earth? And because of that, that's why I can able to give and radiate that, because that's who I am.
So profound, because sometimes we always talk about find your purpose, but not your purpose at the core that is like holistic.
So I'm very much intentional. Everything stems from ikigai point of view in terms of everything that I do.
When I read about that,
please do, because it's one of the powerful things we even do in our sessions in coaching and helping people find their ikigai.
Sure, that's amazing. I can listen to you all day. You know that with this conversation, okay, I'm just gonna be what do they call it? You know, maushelwa, like you know, lama thing. I feel like I'm gonna be like in your aura. I'm amazed with you, and I know uchomi at the same time, but the things that you do and the stuff that the way you empower others, like I see it holistically, because you are everywhere, you know, even with your kids, with your family, with your friends, and business.
With my husband. Your husband. I forgot to mention I'm a married woman, girl. For 22 years now,
and I'm seeing him in videos and all that as well. Like,
and you know he's here with me right outside.
That's, you know, like, I don't know what I would say, you know, with women, it comes with that price. But, you know, as a woman, there is that guy who's going to be like, TV, I hear, to cut this queen.
But I guess the reason why one find a point where they are thriving in what they do is when you have a supporting partner who is not competing with you, who is not limiting you, who is pushing you to actually do what you do, and actually who even believe in you more than you believe in yourself.
So true.
And for me, that's a blessing that I have.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great element, and I think those are the other conversations that in future I want to have, you know, but today we are not here about relationships.
Yeah, I guess.
Or maybe in a way, because there's a big name that is coming up, mother wounds, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So if you were to tell people what does Puse does now, you know, just for me, so that people get to understand why am I sitting with you and why you're my coach, because I was with my friend from work as well, Maggie, I call her my wife. She was saying to me, oh, my wife, you're so grown. You know, the past I've been seeing the things you do, you know, Puse did you well. I'm like, okay, here's it. So it's one of those things that, you know, when you feel empowered and really developed by another woman, who, like you're talking about competition, who when they see something in you, because you kept on saying you must do this, and the everyday activity that you make us do develops you all the day. For me, I was thinking development, you go and come back, and it's an everyday thing, but just from your side, so that people can have a full view, so that as I'm here, I am confident, I do conversations, now I can go speak publicly, those things where I come from, so that at least people get their view of what do you do.
I wear many hats. I do I'm very talented. So what I do is to help people stand out of their own way. I help people to raise their awareness, self-awareness, to raise their consciousness, and to be intentional with what they want to become and to do. I help people to declutter their emotional state, to also let go and adapt new ways of doing things. I help people to unlearn and learn new habits. I let people to actually release their destructive emotions that could hinder their growth. I help people to also be aware of their own limiting beliefs that actually they run with, and they don't realize that that very belief is the one that can stand on my way. I help people to actually choose who they want to be, because it's not what people tell them to be, but what do you want to be? And I want them to gain that freedom of moving from a mental slavery into an empowered self that is aware of who they are, what that is intentional in terms of their growth path, and who is actually having goals to achieve, and who is realizing that there's nothing that can limit me to become who I want.
Sure. And hence the name of the company is Mindrtirement.
Mindrtirement.
People must retire.
People must let go. Because we keep a lot of things in our mind. Everything starts in the mind. So the mind that is blocked, the mind that is limited, the mind that believes that I'm not good enough, I can't, the mind that has been told that you don't amount to anything, is the one that carries that weight of the limitation. So when you retire the mind, you are saying, raise awareness of seeing what could potentially stop you from actually excelling, what could stop you from actually getting to the destination that
and you even moving one step. I think what I've learned from you, just moving one step when you wake up.
Of course, it takes also your ability to tell yourself that you want that, because everything starts with you wanting to do something, not when your parents tells you this is what you should be. It can only happen the moment you give yourself permission
to be.
I think biblically as well, I think if I always narrate it to the issue of the woman with the issue of blood, who only knew if she can hold the garment of Jesus, she will be healed. She had to believe that, she had to know that becomes the solution. And when that becomes your that revelation that comes within, and then when you go for it, then it becomes. So we stop ourselves, because I think we are the nation that is dependent on being told what to do, what to say. We depend on pastors to pray for us and to prophesy for us in order to change our lives. We depend on our teachers to tell us, and the books to tell us. We never descend into understanding that the connection between us and God has already given us, and everything lies within ourselves. At the end of the day, you need to know how to descend to a point where you can know if this is right and this is wrong for you.
My mind just went. And I'm so grateful that you just repeated that, because I struggled for a long time until we had the session. Not somebody must tell you, you need to believe it. I remember the session that we had, that I joined you. We had an author. I think I also still have the book. One question that she did, like say your limiting beliefs and all that, and I spoke about I don't speak proper and all that, and this is what my mom said and all that, and the one question that she said, is it true? Is it true? That's why you come back to you like, do you believe it? Like, no man, I don't. So other than coaching and transformation and entrepreneurship coaching, you have a spa, you have a wellness.
I started the wellness side of business 2002. That makes it 20 years ago. Been a long time. So I ran a spa where I would have people coming in to have their therapy done, alternative healing, holistic therapy, and it's part of also, if you look at it, it's mind, body, and soul healing. So only when COVID hit, I decided to cut that part because of it was just taking a lot of overheads, and I couldn't afford to sustain it post-COVID. However, I can tell you every property I own and every house that I live in, there'll always be a spa within it. So people know when they visit me, there's always a room dedicated for therapy because it's part of where I integrate my coaching with therapy. I'm not just an executive coach, life coach, transformational life coach, negative energy healer. I'm also a holistic therapist, and I am always finding that if I use my coaching holistically, a part of that of being holistic, I'm also a neuro-linguistic practitioner. So I then incorporate that because you could come to me related to anything leadership development. But I realized that what hinders you to become the excellent leader, or it's you lack trust, and that what caused that lack of trust is based on your upbringing and the belief you have about yourself. So I have to subcode or help you change the mind in terms of how we use the distorted image of that you have of yourself to create a new image of who you are becoming, so that you can live in that frame. So that's changing the frames that we have, because everything that we think is set. That is why everything you can think you can manifest. So now if you believe that you are not good enough, it means you have an image of a person in a way that lives in that way. So when we change that into this person who believes that you are capable, then you will even manifest that, because now the mind now sees a different picture, and then it just subconsciously now is that coding itself in the way that you can live what you believe. So whenever we are finding ourselves caught up in moments where things are not going well, we need to go back to our thoughts. What are the type of imagination thinking that we entertain in our minds? What are kind of belief we have? What are the values we live by? So we have to go and it's like construction.
I never used to understand the secret until we talked about how your mind creates your life.
Oh no, everything. Whoever came up with this table, they saw it in the mind before they even saw it on paper and designed it, and then it became. Our life is like that.
Amazing. You have 2 books. Is it 2 or 3?
3.
So I bought the first one, the Mindrtirement first one, and then also the second one is
Personal Development Planner. It's I actually do self-help tools as books to read, but also that helps you with your personal development. I specialize in the space of personal mastery, where you work through awareness, self-discovery, self-development, and self-mastery.
That's how you make us work. When we read your stuff, it's work. It's not like you read and enjoy, like
that's why many people run away from me. People don't like working.
Day one, what's your plan for the week? You're like, what am I planning for the week? I'm going to work. Like,
So and I teach you to see it before it happens, because in order for you to achieve what you want to achieve that week, there is no way that you can work or live in an autopilot. You need to sit in the moment of visualizing it and seeing it and believing it. Then you will act it. And that's what I teach. Center yourself and know what you want to achieve this week. And you'll be amazed that the moment you raise that, you'll start even attracting people coming to you with the things that you are looking for.
So I think you got the coaching side of things, the essence of why we are here. So now you got that. To the next exciting part, because I think this one is, I'm excited about it, and I'm also part of it. But let's just quickly go to a break. Are we good for a break? Conversations with the Puseletso, the girl next door. We are back. Conversations with the Puseletso, the girl next door. I had to stop right there because I just wanted to separate these conversations because this one is exciting. You got the essence of Puseletso, and I talk about her almost all the time when I do my solo videos. But anyway, you know her well. But now you know even deeper. Do yourself a favor and Google Mogale. Google Mogale. I'm gonna leave it there because I'm gonna start selling. I don't want to sell. Did you hear Koko quiz? But now you're selling it. You can become our media partner. So I am conscious that we are having a conversations with Puseletso Modimogale, the woman that I really admire and love so much. Puse. And I got the 2 books because I bought one and then a planner.
You got a planner, yes. And then there's a self-actualization journal, and then the next one will be the Healing Mother Wound.
Yes, Healing the Mother Wound. This is a topic that I have been seeing on social media so much, and I've never thought that was part of my story in general until I digged into it as what is the wound? You know, when you think motherhood, you're thinking walwana fella with the mother. But before we talk about the book, what inspired you to go that route to want to have this conversation and this book about motherhood? Maybe you can even shed the light. What is the motherhood?
Yeah. You know, what inspired me to actually bring this as a topic is because I sit a lot with people in my coaching practice.
Yeah.
And when you listen, you realize everything boils down to the wound. It's either a father wound or a mother wound. And I realize one of the wounds that we talk a lot about is the father wound. Many people will talk about absent father, abundance from father, neglect from father. But it happens as well with mothers. There are a lot of stories I have a lot of stories. I remember when in my coaching, I had a lady who was telling her story that she was born in jail because the mother was arrested, and she didn't know when she was released, and the mother had to stay after she has grown, and her environment was around her knowing being behind bars. She didn't know there's a world out there that exists because she was conditioned to believe that this is the world, this is the life, because she was born in jail. So now when she was released, having to adapt into learning how to be in an open space, how to be out there meeting other people, it's like she approached life based on the principles and the culture of jail.
Yeah.
Now she had to unlearn a lot of things.
Freedom.
Yes. And at that point, you would say there wasn't a mother wound there. There was. Because the mother being in jail and her being in that environment, the baby was born in that environment, conditioned that child's mind to believe in that, their view of the world, to be limited to that confinement and space. And to a point that for her to actually even have freedom it had to take a lot of intentionality and a lot of coaching, a lot of psychological work to assist her to adapt. And then there are a lot of stories. There are many stories that I can share, including some of the co-authors shared their own personal stories, but that inspired me to have opened the conversations around mother wound, which is mother wound is the traumas that children gain while either it's still in the mother's womb, because some of the things that we inherited are not happening while we are born. They can happen depending on the type of state of mind and the emotional state of mind of the mother while she's still carrying the child.
So true.
Because there are people who are going through some sort of abuse during the period of their pregnancies. There are people going through psychiatric or mental situation, depression. So as depressed state of soul, what type of soul is birthing?
Oh,
you see, so we are in battles with things that we inherited, and we sometimes don't know. We call it the strongholds and the legacy we inherited from that point. Then we have other wounds where the mother either was absent in the child's life, maybe by abandoning the child. We see a lot of stories of children that are found in dustbins, that are found in the taxi ranks, and these children now they had to learn their journey, their story of where they come from. So it's like they are missing a piece of their life that they don't know, and the sense of fear of neglect, fear of abandon. So those are the kind of things that now they becomes the emotion that they carry throughout their life, because in their lives they're depending on who then took them in to parent them. That person needs to be understanding how fragile the soul is based on its origin. So there are also wounds that are caused by very abusive parents. Their tongue, sharp tongue, how they will talk to you, because they just somehow portray their own fears on you based on how they were raised. Then they would want to now take it out on you. I know a child that knew very well that the mother hated her, even though she had to stay with the mother, because she reminded the mother of an abusive ex-husband. So now because she resembled him so much, she even hated the child. So you see those stories like that somehow as we mothers, if we don't heal, we bleed on our own children. That's the wound of its own kind.
It doesn't stop.
It continues, it doesn't stop, and then it becomes a chain, and then that person is raised like that, then they pass it to their children, till we will become a person who says, I want to stop this, I want to heal from this, I need to know where the origin of this is coming from. Some people, as you know, through coaching, we don't know why we behave in a certain way. Why? Because I remember in our coaching session, I will ask you, was that the best way of communicating with your children? Then you have to reflect back and say, but why was there a need for you to say that? Why was it important at that moment? You feel like instead of communicating with the child, you have to shout at the child. Then we trace it back to say it's how you have always been spoken to, hence you've believed it's the way of raising children. So you see, up until you become aware of yourself and somehow you are doing things, the emotions, the things that triggers you, the pain points in your life, then you realize that you have a wound that you need to heal, and we need to understand the origin of it first. So, but this time the focus is the wounds that are originated from the maternal and the mother themselves.
Sure. So how many co-authors? How many authors in the book?
We are 8 or 9.
Yeah, I kept saying 7, 8.
Yeah, 8. We are 8 people.
How was that process?
It could have been more. Just that I needed to just give it. I could have opened it to people to share their own stories, which I believe the book is just a kickstart of conversations. There will be people whom we get to hear their own stories, but we are not just opening wounds. We are not just helping people to vent and talk about their journeys and where their pain is originated from. We would like to also give them the tools. We would like them to help them walk through their healing journey towards where they can really forgive. They can forgive themselves. They can forgive those who hurt them. They can actually reshape their life and shape their view of the world, and also find love and loving themselves, self-caring, while they can also extend the love to others.
No, man, thank you so much. And now you know I'm also a co-author. Thank you for giving me a title. I'm a co-author. And at first like no, I'm just working on the program. No, co-author. Co-author. So now it's been an amazing experience, I think, to open up with my story as well. And I just hope when people read, and I loved how you did the chapters because they focus on different things. When you are saying, but it's not about just opening the wound, is okay, now you know there's a wound, what's next and what's your approach, which I think for me was an aha moment to say you can actually, when you understand what you're going through, you can make a choice, either to heal, either to just let go, close the chapter, and make that conscious decision on how you want to deal with the wound. The book is ready to be launched soon. When is the launch?
So we are still going through the journey of launching the book. It's to eventually have the day where we gather and we celebrate. The book has already launched, if you think about it, because when we started the book, we already started with the online interviews that we did a lot of YouTube interviews with different people. We're speaking about this. We have Facebook group where the discussion are also happening. We have interviews even on radio. You were interviewed on different radios. So it's like, what do you call a launch? A launch is the moment you start speaking about something. It's just
We've
that
launched.
We've launched. So when people say, when are you launching? No, you are talking about when are we celebrating.
You see, now I'm empowered again. Because when you're part of the process, you think it's still work.
No.
We have launched.
We have launched because we have already made it known out there. So we are now taking phase by phase. So what's to come in September, us as co-authors, because at the moment the book is with editors so that they can help us with structuring of what we have written, and they can eventually, then we send it to the printers, and then the tangible book is live and people can buy. But we are wanting to have people to start engaging in the conversations of what is healing mother wound. They can already start now participating doing the work. We will have also programs. Right now we have platforms that are free for people to attend, but then we will have programs that will involve coaches, psychologists to help them go through the journey, and those will be paid ones where you can buy a program or to heal your own mother wound, because you are ready now to change your life. You are ready now to go into a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at life, so that you can thrive emotionally.
You know, when you are a product of something, I know how the journey, even before the mother wound process, the journey of just healing yourself on different, because like you are a layer. You might be thinking you're coming for just one part, but the layers,
it's open. It's like peeling an onion till there's a lot that you don't realize you will discover from just taking that step of saying I want healing. Nobody will tell you must heal. You need to tell yourself I want to heal, and then you can start. They say when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And it's not by mistake that you are listening to this conversation right now. Perhaps it's prompting you to actually look into your own healing journey. So I want to say, next month, which is September, we as the co-authors, we're doing a photo shoot because the drive is going on. We're doing a photo shoot. We're doing our breakfast with our cover page reveal of the book.
It's going to be exciting.
Yes.
Please follow this journey. That's
so they need to follow the journey.
Conversations with the Puseletso, the girl next door. I think this is why I love bringing people from different walks of life, because you open the world that you are not part of. You are able to even let go of cycles that were not even working for you. So follow this journey, and all the platforms we are there: Mindrtirement and Motherhood.
Definitely. Yes. So after the co-authors gathering, in terms of planning our strategy to hold conversations in our own spaces, is where now these individuals now are given the platform to go and host conversations, because as much as they were in their own wounds, they have to be taken through coaching and now they are finding a lot of relief, and also are going through change that they are, and they can now start hosting conversations. So because the co-authors that we have is not people who are not doing already impact in their community. So we're just saying then they need to also bring this element of healing motherhood within those, because like you have a girl next door. Within the girl next door, there's a wounded girl next door. Right? There is Jabuzwane, who is a pastor. He's talking about spiritual healing of your mother wound. We have Utebo, there are a lot of people doing already great things out there with their own target market, because others are dealing with teenagers. So teenagers healing mother wounds. So now is the work that is like we're sending people in the mission to go and send the to become evangelists of the work of healing mother wound. So our launch and a book launch is not the traditional gathering in the room. It's going to be done in a way that now the soldiers are now at war to go and heal.
Oh, and I'm privileged to be one of those, and I'm glad that this platform came, because I think this is one of them where I'll be able to hold these conversations and continue, and will invite other authors to also come there, come share their stories here. Yeah. Sure, Puse, I think there is so much into healing. Mm-hmm. There's so many steps. People take healing as if you pray about it, God will help you, it will go away and all that, and forget the word part of it. What are other things that, even if we're not only talking about motherhood, but in terms of healing and you wanting to grow, what are the things that people need to be aware of about just healing?
Healing, as you know, there are a lot of things to heal from, right? Sometimes you need to even heal from your own limiting beliefs, because maybe you were told as a child that you are not good enough. Maybe your parents never showed that they believed in you, because you were trying to express yourself in a certain way that many people did not understand. I'll give you an example. Because we held the retreat on healing, there were a lot of people who needed to heal from different things. And that's where even mothers were even beaten up by their own children. And I think we see it's trending now, where mothers now are raising children who can beat them up, or parents themselves, they're raising children who can take a stick and beat them. And then they love them so much. Sometimes they hide this from everybody else, that I'm being beaten by my own child. Others are parents where the children are not finding alignment because they blame them for their own things, going into drugs, going into becoming criminals. So they have to now still not blame themselves. They have to heal from not blaming themselves based on the outcome of their own children. Others have to even heal from relationship. This August, we were having a retreat on healing from relationship pain. Because people, either they were in a loving relationship, then their partners, they separated, and there's a lot of now fight and a pain that is carried out of that relationship. It can be relationship with a friend, it can be relationship with your in-laws, it can be relationship with your lover, it can any form of, even partnership in business is still a relationship. You find that there's that separation that has to happen, and now people are at war, at which they had a good thing going on, and their plans were to see this thing grow, and it didn't, because of now things didn't work out. So there's a lot of healing that we can look into. I mean, we can zoom deeper, but everything has its origin. You see, the beautiful thing about our coaching process is we go deeper into understanding the origin of why is it that you find this hard to let go. Why is it hard for you to even say I'm sorry? Why can't you apologize? Why is it that you allow ego to rule you, pride to control you? What is it that you can't be vulnerable? What is it that you can't cry? What is it that you can't put people in your own spaces? What do you fear that, like for instance, in my life, I have always been claustrophobic.
Is that yours?
I would like to believe it's you, madame.
It's it. I didn't know. Okay, but we'll continue with conversation. I am so sorry.
Oh, there you have.
Now that call came through and just, disalign us, if there is such a word.
That call was meant to come in.
It was.
Nothing happens by mistake.
We have had conversations with Puse. We're talking about healing and the stuff that you do, Puse. Now, I want to come back to you as a person. Who has impacted your life other than your family, people that you've met as you are working through? Who has impacted your life to want to continue to do this? Because when I see the groups that we have, there's a lot of us. I don't know how you have capacity to be there, and with no fail, there is a message and an exercise for you every day in the morning. And I'm on the few groups because of what I've signed up for, but I can see all the groups, which I take you do that for each and every group? What has impacted you, and how are you managing to do this?
I have, let me start by how I managed to do this, is that now I have teams of people I work with.
Oh.
So there could be many groups, but I'm not active in all of them because
Okay.
I've got a supporting team. I've got 6 employees responsible for different things, in charge of managing certain aspect of the business. I can show up. I mean, you have seen it with the Pillow Talk on Wednesdays. I use various coaches to come and facilitate the sessions. I could easily not be part of the day, and it will still continue. I think I had to learn to build system, and also to build to work with people that are aligned to the cause. We share the same ikigai because they then are going to also use their talent and skills to impact others in different platforms that we have.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like I'm busy, it looks like I'm everywhere, but my business is everywhere. The name is out there, but I have people behind.
You've done amazing.
Yes, I've got people behind everything. I might look like it's me, but it's not me. It's my team.
Wow.
Working.
Because I was definitely gonna go into. We talk about filling the cup, because I was like worried. Yours seems full and overflowing. All the time.
No, I have teams, Shem. There are elements. Remember, my work is not only with individuals.
Yeah.
There are 4 elements of Mindrtirement.
Okay.
One is the coaching part, where we work with corporates, we work with enterprise development programs, and we work with individuals or professionals.
Okay.
Then we have coaches that are assigned to do the work, facilitators and so on, that are assigned to do the work. And I'm the one who is actually overseeing them, because as I'm a coach of the coaches.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why we have a coaching academy.
Okay.
Then we have the element of the institute itself, where we have programs that are running either 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months.
Okay.
And there we also can assign now coaches that will take people through the training, development, skills development, and so on. That's why we run internship programs. We have coaching academy. We have leadership development. We have self-mastery programs.
Wow.
You see. Then we have wellness side. That's where the hiking and coaching happens. That's where the retreats, wellness retreats that we take people away for the weekend or the week away. Or we also have team buildings. And then therapy, which is the holistic therapy that we offer for individuals and the corporate clients as well. Then the fourth part, last year I launched a product called Mindfulness Bath and Body Care. It's where we are manufacturing all the products that people can use for their own home care, self-care, self-love. But then there are additional to that is where the shop you'll find the books. We're still developing an e-commerce website that will showcase all the products that we are selling that are aligned to your own self-love, self-care, and your own personal development journey. So those are the 4 components of the company at the moment.
Okay, now I'm glad. That's why I can see you having fun, dancing, hiking, and doing all the other fun stuff. I am so tired. When I see people, I get tired. So now I'm glad. So it is important for us, because yesterday I went on, I was invited to talk, and sometimes one of the things that I was talking about is that sometimes we don't take care of us. And this body, this being that still needs to pour out on others. What are those things that you do? I know you are big also on self-care, on few things to say. Self-care can mean you just taking time for yourself, even if you're not doing anything. That time that belongs to you, whether being reading, being running, being watching TV, or doing something that is solely just you and nobody else. And I know that you're, so now I know, okay, there is a team. So it's important for us as we grow businesses or ourselves to even give our kids responsibilities so that we can have your time. Then the next question.
No, before you go to the next one, I only answered one part in terms of how.
How? Yes.
I would like to tell you what inspired. What was the other question?
Yes.
It was how do you do this? And so
and who has also
inspired me? There are a lot of people who played a role in terms of choosing this path. Both on TV, both physically, and even those who were not good for me. They inspired me to be me. Because it's not, inspiration doesn't come only from the good side of life.
Where you are motivated, get up and go.
People who challenges you, people who judge you, people who actually neglect you, people who hate you, people they can inspire you. You make a choice of I want to show that I can be whom they think I'm not. I can be.
To say I am
because I know who I am. So what inspired me is the challenges of life that led me to this path, because I realized I had to choose not hate, but I chose love.
Yeah, and staying
in the cause. Like for instance, I will tell you an example. Because when I got married, I started having miscarriages, and as a mother who was going through that path where I lost 3 kids, miscarriages one after the other, that inspired me to help other women. That adversity of life, I changed it into lemonade. So that inspired me to say there are many people, not just me. I cannot sit here and see myself as a victim and not be where I can help people heal emotional, because I knew how heavy it was when I believed that I can't give birth to life. And what about those who believe they can't give, and then they go into depression? And they don't see themselves as if they're lovable, as worthy. And some who really are wanting to impress the husband or their in-laws because they can give birth and they can't. So now I had to put myself in other people's shoes and say, how can I? That's where Women Emancipate Yourself Foundation was formed. So then it ran for a decade of impacting life nationwide because of that moment of me losing children. It gave birth to that platform that inspired me. What inspired me in terms of personal development is I turned 40 and I asked myself, what would I say I have done in my last 40 years? And I remember the conversations I had with myself when I was 35, and I was listening to Oprah Winfrey because also she inspired me to think differently about life. I saw how she impacted life, how she made difference in people's lives and so on. And at that time when I was looking at her show, I said to myself, I'm going to retire at 40. Then 40 came, and the retirement I had in mind was financial freedom, having not longer going to work. I didn't realize that the path that God was taking me was a different types of retirement. That is why when I realized that at 40, what is it that I have achieved and what is it that I have done, I realized that personally in my own life, I have retired my mind, because things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore. Things that used to drive me, I used to be driven for success, for money, and I realized that money was the byproduct. I needed to understand the cause and the calling that I'm in, and the money came. So I then realized that I've actually retired at 40. That's where Mindrtirement started, and the birth of the book and the platform and the company was formed. So I've been inspired by so many things.
My word. Now, like, you just took my mind everywhere, because I think there's so much to you, you know, as a person, and the things that you are saying, sometimes we don't even think about that retirement. You think about retire, not going to work. You don't think about your own life,
how it changed,
how it's changing, you know, because I've been going on 49 going 50, you know, thing to say, like when I cut my hair, when the challenge came to say letting go, I didn't even think about it like retiring, because I want to live a easier, free life whereby I don't...
You're not controlled by things. We're in control of your own life.
Oh, this is so amazing. So before we close, what would you want people to take away from this conversation? Because we spoke about, and I love that we give it all. We spoke about what you do, your business, and talk about the books that you have, including this one. And I love that it's not just when you also explained it better than I was, to say it's not just a book where it's just going to come as a tangible book, go read and come back. It's more than a book.
It's a self-help,
it's
personal
more
development
than a book. So what would you like people to take away from this conversation?
I would like them to be a girl next door that are willing to embark in their healing journey. I want them to realize that their power lies in their hands. They need to see themselves to be the person who's worthy of good things. They need to see themselves that they are deserving of a life that is happy, that is joyous, that is full of exciting moments. It doesn't matter. It's not described by how much you have, your title at work, you're being put in the pedestal because you want to be seen. You need to actually be happy by just being you, because who you are is as precious than when you are wearing any clothes. Like the nakedness in you is already as precious without you covering up, because if ever you think when you are wearing a brand it's what makes you to be the person, you're actually not giving the power to the brand. So just know you first, to say I am. And that's it. I am. That's why God says I am. He didn't really have anything else. So I am is as powerful, and you need to walk that. You need to talk that. You need to be that. And once you know that who you are, as when you were given birth and put here on earth, whether you were given birth in any form in how you landed here on earth, you were meant to be here. So just know that you matter. You are significant, and you are deserving of the life you want.
Sure. Whew. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. I sometimes do take for granted having these conversations, and sometimes I feel so honored, because it feels like they are for others. I hold conversations that heal, that grow, and all that, but the growth that happens to me when I'm sitting, I even forget that I am having a conversation for the platform, because now I just went back to our conversation where I then want to wake up and do something. I want to continue and say what is my legacy and what I want to leave. So Conversations with the Puseletso, the girl next door, this is the platform that heals, the platform that brings people who would showcase that as girl next doors and boys, just as they are, they can just conquer the world and develop others, and just be the beauty that transforms, that shows care, that loves, and pour love more than anything else in the world. Puseletso, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I'm going to definitely make sure that all the links are there, are shown, because I love the part of the world that you've created for us, and I also want to be there now, evangelist.
Definitely. Today, you are ordained as an evangelist of change, catalyst of growth, and all good things, because your light is so bright. Whoever you touch, anybody sitting in this chair, everybody being in contact with you, their lives will never be the same. I want to say it publicly and be here because I'm bringing all the spirit, all the energy, all the positive vibes in the room. I want to say to you, you know that you are now that. Be nothing else but that. In our shortcomings, in our limitations, let's always remember that we are the light. So, well done. I'm proud of you. I really am. Well done.
Thank you so much. It's amazing.
No, thank you.
And it's a wrap.